Hello, Algebra 2 students. This is me, Mr. Wilcox, coming to you from my dining room table. Today is our first day of notes for virtual learning, and today we're going to solve simple logarithmic equations. So what's going to happen is you're going to see me go through the notes here, and we'll go through the examples, and then I will end the video. So jumping in, remember to write this all in your notebook and keep notes because at some point you will have to take a quiz or test on this and you're going to want them to know how to do this. So solving simple logarithmic equations, we are going to go to the next slide first, and I'm going to pause for a second and let you write this down. And if you need to pause the video to get it all down, go ahead and pause the video. I'm just going to wait like 5 seconds so there's no weird thing with me talking and then not talking. All right, so hopefully you have that all written down. So a logarithmic equation is obviously an equation that involves logs. Remember, we learned before spring break that logs cannot be taken of negative numbers. And so those would cause, remember, what we call extraneous solutions, or solutions that don't work. So just like when we were learning how to solve radical equations and we had to check for extraneous solutions, we still have to do so with logarithmic equations. And today we're going to be using one property and one property alone, and that's if we have the log base b of two numbers equal to one another, then those two numbers must be equal to one another. So for example, if we have log base 2 of x equals log base 2 of 7, then x must equal 7. So what we're going to do today is we're going to solve equations that look like this. Oops, sorry, that gets covered up, but it looks like that, and we can by dropping the logs, and that's what we're going to do today. So next slide. All right, so for every example, I have a slide up here for how to do this example. We are going to do this example, but you're going to want to write down the steps right now. And again, I'm going to pause for about 5 seconds so you can pause the video, write it down, and start when you're ready. All right, so today we're going to use that property of equality we just learned for logarithmic equations, that if we have the log with the same base equal to one another, we can drop the log. And then we're going to solve for x, and then we're going to check for any extraneous solution. So here is our first example. All right. So if we have log base 5 of 4x minus 7 equal to log base 5 of x plus 5, because we have a log base 5 equal to a log base 5, we can drop the logs, and we would just have 4x minus 7 is equal to x plus 5. And then we just have to use our algebra skills to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, leaving me with a 3x minus 7 equals 5. Add 7 to both sides, so I have 3x equals 12, and divide by 3 to get x equal to 4. Right? So then all you have to do is check for your extraneous solution. So I will do that here in a second. All right, we got the answer x equals 4. So I'm going to take log base 5 and plug that 4 back in. So log base 5 of 4 times 4 minus 7. And make sure that it actually equals log base 5 of 4 plus 5. So we're going to get log base 5 of 4 times 4 is 16. And 4 plus 5 is 9. So we're going to get log base 5 of 9 equals log base 5 of 9. So we are good. We got no negative numbers, so there are no extraneous solutions. All right. All right, so I do have two more examples for you to try on your own that I will then walk through for you. So if you want to pause the video here and try these two problems on your own, that's great. If you're still a little lost, then just go along with me as I go through these next two problems. So the first example was log base 3 of 5x equals log base 3 of x plus 4. So remember our rule was if we had two logs with the same base equal to one another, we can drop the logs. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the logs and we will have 5x is equal to x plus 4. We need to now solve for x. So I would subtract this x over. And so I'll get 4x is equal to 4. And if I divide by 4 on both sides, I get x is equal to 1. All right. So we got the answer x is equal to 1. So we're just going to check that really quick to make sure it doesn't cause any extraneous solutions. So take log base 3 of 5 times 1 and set it equal to log base 3 of 1 plus 4. So log base 3 of 5 times 1 is 5 is going to equal log base 3 of 1 plus 4 is 5. So we get the same thing. We get the same log. They're both positive. So there's no issue. So x equals 1 is our answer. All right, so just so we have an example of using natural logs, remember natural logs are just logs with the base of our base number e, which was found by that mathematician Euler. They act the same way. So since we have a natural log equal to a natural log, we are just going to drop the natural logs and set our numbers equal to one another. So we have 4x minus 1 equal to x minus 6. And then we are going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract my x over. So I have 3x minus 1 equals negative 6. Add my 1 over. I'll have 3x equals negative 5. And then if I divide by 3, I get x equals negative 5 thirds. All right, and then we're going to have to check our answer to make sure that doesn't cause any extraneous solutions. All right, so we had the answer x equals negative 5 thirds. All right, so we're going to check that out. So if I take the natural log of 4 times the negative 5 thirds minus 1, does that equal to the natural log of a negative 5 thirds minus 6? All right, well, 4 times the negative 5 thirds is negative 20 thirds. And a negative 5 thirds minus 6 thirds would be, let's see, negative 6 is negative 18 thirds minus 5 would be a negative 23 thirds. So as you can see, it doesn't matter what happens over here. We're trying to take the natural log of a negative number, and we can't take the natural log of a negative number because there's no way to take something to a power and then make it negative. So we cannot take the number e to a power and get a negative number. And because that's true, this solution does not work, and we have no solution. All right. So that's all I have for you today on solving simple log problems. You just have to drop the log, solve for x, and check your answer. If you get a log of a negative number, that answer won't work. I hope you're all safe. I hope you are all healthy, and I hope you all have a great day.